Hey guys, this is Chris from Black Talon Gaming, and I want to welcome you to my guide for the best, most effective settlement defenses that you can have in your game or your playthrough of Fallout 4. What I'm going to go through is I'm going to go through a few builds over the course of a few weeks. These are defensive builds that I've found, and this is in the settlement building stuff if you haven't already guessed. These are defensive builds that I've found extremely useful and extremely cost-effective for my survival playthrough. Mind you, what you're looking at right now is not cost-effective at all. You're like, what the hell is this? What is going on? This is, of course, if you don't know, you know, well, of course you know. This is Starlight Cinemas, or whatever the hell it's called. And I'm building a massive factory complex, and I have a secret project that's going to be on the 3rd level, and I haven't even started the 2nd level. You know, so like I'm really not there. I'll tell you a little bit more about it when I get there, but this is going to be something huge. This is going to be something cool. But back to the topic at hand, settlement defenses. Even though I have this massive structure, luckily I have nothing here yet because I really don't have any defenses slotted up for this. I think, yeah, I've got 2 turrets right up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump right into building some defense towers and turrets. And we're going to start... First, we're going to go to the workshop. So... let me go ahead and make sure that I've got all the equipment I need, so just hang tight for a second. Alright guys, so this is the side of the facility that we're going to go ahead and be fortifying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a defense tower, and this is the main thing that I'm going to show y'all today, is my concrete defense tower design. It's really, really simple. In fact, probably a lot of you figured it out on your own. I'm going to put a little bit of a wooden wall going from here over to the defense tower. And after I get it placed, I'm going to fill in the rest here with like a junk fence or something. So let's go ahead and get started. So everything ever since, what is it? Contraptions? No. Wasteland Workshop? Yeah, I think it was Wasteland Workshop. Ever since Wasteland Workshop came out, everything I build, like I build a lot of stuff with concrete. It looks good. It's clean. I think it does better than everything else. Alright, so, ideally, we want our settler people to enter from either this direction or this direction. So we're going to have the door... I'm going to say maybe this direction. And all I'm going to do is place like so. Gonna drop another one right there, drop something right there, and then of course if you have a scavenging station, or if you have like a little defensive one little guard posts on the inside, if you have these windows here, they can fire out, you know, so they effectively have fields of fire, which is useful in an actual defense situation. Not to mention they get some amount of cover. I like to always put corners on these, and it may not be necessary. You can put them on the inside or you can put them on the outside. It just depends on your preference. The reason I like to put corners is because I was reading on Reddit at some point that somebody, they were taking cover in someplace, like I think with a tiny little junk fence or whatever, and they didn't have the snapping mod, so their junk fence, you know, had the little imperfect little cracks, and he said that he spent like an hour working on it trying to get the junk fence to line up, but there was still like a tiny little sliver, and they were able to shoot like with a freaking high-powered sniper rifle through there. All right, there we go. So that is the core of the design. You're like, Chris, that was way too freaking simple. Like, we could have totally done that ourselves. And yeah, you probably could. Actually, I have no doubt that y'all can. But let's go ahead and kind of modify it, and I'll show you how it kind of fits in really well with other components and other methods of construction. All right, so we're not going to drop any of the... Usually on the inside, I'll stick a guard post or a scavenging station right here. And I put turrets on the top, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But now that the main design is complete, we want to go ahead and fit it into our defense program. And one of the things I want to kind of redefine is, in a previous video I had said that fences were all but useless in actual settlement defense, or excuse me, walls were all but useless in actual settlement defense. I would like to go ahead and walk back that statement, because yes, they still do lack a lot of the things. Like, they have no impact whatsoever on whether or not your settlement is going to get attacked. And if your settlement is attacked and you're far off in the distance, and that's called like a distance defense or whatever, and so the settlement is running a calculation to see if it survives the attack, walls have no impact on that at all either. So walls don't do anything for that situation. And even in a situation where you're in the settlement after it's been attacked, like a lot of people say, okay, well, enemies will spawn inside the walls a lot of the time, and it is true. Enemies do spawn inside the walls, but that is actually a function of how long it takes you to get to the settlement, as opposed to when the settlement alert goes out. So if you were like right next door to a settlement and it gets attacked, the enemies will be spawning at the original spawn point. So let's go ahead and let me exit this. Let's imagine that the spawn point for Starlight Harbor, or Starlight Cinema, is like right here. If it gets attacked and you're right here, the enemy will spawn. If you're in the area and it gets attacked and you like immediately jump into the fight, the enemy will spawn right here. What the game does is that for every like in-game hour or like every 2 in-game hours or whatever that you're late, they move in like 20 feet closer or something like that. And it's 20 feet closer, and I believe it's 20 feet... No, well, it's not 20 feet closer. It's not exactly 20 feet, but they move closer and closer for every hour that you were not there, like every hour that you were traveling. And I think they move in the direction of wherever the workshop itself is. So for a spawn point that was out there, they would move in that direction. I don't know where Starlight Cinema's spawn points actually are. I know relatively where Sanctuary spawn points are, so it's a little bit easier for me to talk about Sanctuary. But, so long story short, walls seem useless because yes, enemies can spawn in there. Let me put on some buff out, because it's a lot of shit I'm carrying for a survival build, right? But walls do play a function in 2 ways. If you're there early enough, they can actually have tremendous effect in cordoning where the enemy attacks are coming from and where they're going to be able to get to. I've done like 30 defenses at the Red Rocket, and if you've seen my Red Rocket is entirely walled off. And like I know for a fact that the walls there do help me, because I'm able to take cover behind them and I'm able to fire from positions like this, and it's fantastic and it's a lot of fun. The only time that they don't help you is when you're having to run back real quick, or in the case of other difficulty modes when you're fast traveling. Anytime in-game time passes, that they will move in closer, and as a result they may move in past a perimeter wall. So a perimeter wall can be helpful in that case, in that situation. Walls do also, if you build a settlement smart and you're not necessarily going after a perimeter wall because you know you're not going to be there all the damn time, you can make tiny little mini forts, which is what I did with Sanctuary. And the mini forts are going to be incredibly hard for the enemy to, like, they're like, for example, I have around my house in Sanctuary, I have like a little mini fort up around the front where the bridge is. I have a second mini fort, and enemies can't spawn inside there, or they usually don't. I've never seen them spawn inside those little forts, and as a result, 90% of the time they're not able to get to the turrets that are attacking them. And that's the real thing that you want to be able to do, is you want to be able to put your turrets in a high place or in such a situation that the enemy, if they're spawning, that they can't attack them with melee. They'll only be able to attack them with ranged. And for that matter, like, the higher they are, of course it obscures their line of sight. Anyhow, so that's basically why I'm gonna build this wall here. So let me go ahead and move this now. In the ground. So we're not going to have too much of a gap there. And here comes the special part. I'm not going to, when I do my little cost-benefit analysis of this turret tower, I'm not going to try to calculate the cost of these walls. So just keep that in mind, that the walls will be separate. Got the remedy. Let's go ahead and do this, one of these, and plop that bad motherfucker right there. In case I need another one there. Perfect. So now I've kind of extended that out, and you'll have to work with it, especially because it's got this little lip here going on. And you'll just have to work with, these little corner pieces. That's another reason you want the corner pieces, is because you can use those to set up a bottom corner pieces or whatever, so that you can fill in little gaps like that. And see here, now I've got a completely sealed area, and there's no way to shoot past that on that side. Alright, let's go ahead and go junk wall on this side. You know what, let's keep it all wood, because if, you know. So close up there, but not there. I think that's good enough though, because like, yeah, they'll occasionally be able to snipe in right here. So anybody who's using those stairs, you're in trouble. And it only counts for the players or whatever. Well, no, it counts for the NPCs too when you're there. Yeah, so that's the basic build for the turret tower. Let's go ahead and I'll show you how I set it up. I left these rooms outside because I'm going to put a little player apartment right there. That's only for me, not for them. What I'm going to do for this position is I'm going to put a scavenging station, because this is going to be a factory and they're going to need a lot of scavenging. One of the reasons you're probably asking, okay, why do you put scavenging stations in there instead of guard posts or whatever? Well, guard posts add 2, and you're about to see we're about to add like a bunch of about to add a bunch of turrets. Guard posts add only 2 points or whatever to defense, so to me, like one turret adds 5 or 8, you know what I'm saying? So one turret is the equivalent of 4 people in guard posts. So it seems like a horrible use of resources to assign people. Like, if you think about it, like, yeah, I still put people in guard posts and whatnot. But if you think about it, like, if your people are your most valuable resource, like, you only get so many per settlement and stuff like that. So I just prefer to have the turrets working, and I put the scavenging station in the towers like these, like this, because the scavengers will, you know, like, I give them guns and stuff like that, and they'll fire just like a guard will if I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So the only real difference is that actual guards will add to a settlement's defense as well as defend it in an attack, whereas scavengers won't add to the defense. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so let's go ahead and finish this build off. And I'm moving really slowly because of the buff out, but whatever, dude. Alright, so you can build a little scaffolding if you want to see perfectly and get it on top. What I do is I'll just go in here and try to line it up. And then as soon as I've got it, you know, as soon as it lets me be able to, I drop it, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm over encumbered. All right. I need to hide that mysterious serum, because if it's in there, I'm going to accidentally click it. I know I am. Alright, let's take a look at this, and this will be one final look before I go ahead and sign off here. Alright, so we have 3 turrets on top. We have scavenging stations inside, and if I am a raider coming from this direction or what have you, I've got some ease of attack on the front 2 turrets. The back one has a good bit of cover while still being able to fire on me. So, you know, I think it's a really effective design. It's really easy and really simple. Let me go ahead and calculate up the costs, and I'll get back to y'all with that in just a second. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and calculated up the cost of building the tower, just the tower. I included approximately, I included 2 extra of these little corner pieces, because wherever you put it, you're going to have to put extra little corner pieces to make it fit in. And with my charisma, which is insanely high, and everything else I've got going for me, it costs 116.6 caps to build one of these towers. That's not including the cost of the scavenging stations or the turrets up top, primarily because I don't know if you're going to put 1 or 2, if you're going to put a guard post, or if you're going to put just 1 turret or no turrets at all, you know what I'm saying? So those are not included in the cost, but just for the base structure is 116.6 caps. So if you think about it, like, and this is based on buying shipments of steel from Diamond City and buying shipments of concrete from whomever, because everybody sells it pretty much. So if you think about it, really cheap, really effective. Like, you can easily make 100 caps. Like, hell, just random bandits attacking you on the road will probably give you more than enough caps to build one of those. Yeah, and they're pretty awesome. I think it's a good design. It's really easy. And that's all I've got about that. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the design, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Future iterations of Best Settlement Defense will cover other structures that I build in my playthroughs. as well as some awesome fortresses that I build. Maybe eventually I'll get this done and I'll be able to show you. Of course, I am playing on survival mode, and I have recently downloaded a mod that allows me to switch out of modes, but I very rarely do it. I only do it if I have to clear something out with a console, or if I'm bugging like hell, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, like, I try to do everything legit in this game and in this build through, and everything that I've shown you and that I've built with or whatever has come from my own personal stockpiles. So anyhow, leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, what have you. Hope you all have a great day. And yeah, hope you all have some fun in Fallout. Peace.